Have you ever stood in the middle of a room completely forgetting what you were about to do? Or fumbled around looking for the glasses that are right on top of your head? Or that freeze moment when a familiar name suddenly escapes your mind? Mid-conversation. These small, sometimes funny moments, we often brush them off, thinking, I must just be too busy. But my friend, let's pause for a moment. These aren't just fleeting annoyances. They are gentle messages from a very important place, your future brain. Many of us, especially in our 20s, 30s, or 40s, tend to think of memory loss as a distant story, a final chapter of life we don't need to worry about yet. We look at our grandparents, our parents, and secretly fear that one day we'll become like them. But today I want to tell you a different story. A story not about fear, but about power. The power to build your own mentally sharp old age starting right now. I'll never forget the image of my maternal grandmother. At 85, she could still recite the recipe for a fish stew she learned as a young girl, remembered the name of every single great-grandchild, and could even offer witty commentary on a football match she watched last night. Her intellect wasn't a lucky miracle. It was the result of a life lived consciously. She didn't call it brain training. She simply lived. She read everything from newspapers to blurbs on a perpetual calendar. She did mental math at the market instead of using a calculator. And her small garden was a whole world of discovery and care. Modern science calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's amazing ability to restructure itself to create new connections. Imagine your brain not as a rigid block of concrete, but as a fertile garden. Everything you do today, every thought, every habit, every experience is a seed you plant in that garden. You can let the weeds of laziness and passivity grow wild, or you can carefully cultivate the seeds of curiosity, learning, and activity. This is our emotional peak, a powerful truth. A sharp mind at 70 is not a gift from heaven. It's a project you start building at 30. Every book you read, every new road you travel, every deep conversation you have is a brick you lay for the temple of your future intellect. Don't wait until the first cracks appear to start repairs. Build a solid foundation starting today. We are not fighting against old age. We are preparing to welcome it in the most brilliant way possible. We are learning to become the wise, witty, vibrant elders that we ourselves have always admired. So if the brain is a garden, what is the first and most crucial fertilizer and water to help it flourish? The answer might surprise you. It doesn't start in your head. It starts with what you put on your plate and in your stride. In the last part, we likened the brain to a garden. Now let's ask an honest question. Are you watering your garden with pure fresh water or with sugary soda? Are you feeding it with nutrient-rich organic compost or with industrial junk? This isn't just a metaphor. This is exactly what's happening inside your body every single day. The connection between the physical and the mental is far stronger than we often imagine. You cannot have a sharp brain inside a tired, sluggish body. They are two sides of the same coin. Today, we'll explore the two most critical types of fuel, the food you eat and the way you move. Let's start with smart food. Forget about complicated diets. Think of it this way. What's good for your heart is fantastic for your brain. The brain is an energy-hungry organ consuming up to 20% of the body's calories and oxygen, and it's very picky. Feed it these superstars omega-3 fatty acids found in salmon, herring, walnuts, and flax seeds. Imagine them as skilled builders helping to construct and repair brain cell membranes, allowing nerve signals to travel quickly and smoothly. Antioxidants found in berries like blueberries, strawberries, and dark leafy greens like spinach. They are like a protective army fighting against the cellular rust caused by free radicals keeping your brain young from the inside out. Flavonoids in green tea, cocoa, and dark chocolate. They help improve blood flow to the brain like upgrading a highway system, ensuring that goods, oxygen, and nutrients are delivered to their destination quickly. When I started changing my diet, cutting back on processed foods and adding these smart foods, the change wasn't just in my weight. The most miraculous thing was that the brain fog I thought was normal suddenly lifted. I could think more clearly, remember things more easily. That's when I truly understood, you are what you eat, and so is your brain. But good fuel needs a good engine to run. That's where movement for the mind comes in. If there were a magic pill for the brain, it would be exercise. When you exercise, especially aerobic exercises like brisk walking, running, swimming, or cycling, your heart beats faster, pumping more blood and oxygen to your brain. But what's even more magical is that exercise stimulates the brain to produce a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as miracle fertilizer for your neurons. It helps them grow, connect with each other, and resist aging. Every time you exercise, you are fertilizing your brain garden. Marathon. You don't need to become a marathon runner. Just 30 minutes of brisk walking a day can make a difference. Make it a part of your life. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park a little farther away. Dance to your favorite music in the living room. Every step is an act of love for your future brain. That feeling after a good workout when your body is refreshed and your mind is clear, that's not an illusion. It is the most vivid proof that your body and your brain are celebrating. Do you remember the feeling of your first day of school, the first time you learned to ride a bike, or your first visit to a foreign city? A little bit of fear, a little bit of excitement, and all your senses seem to be turned up to the max. That is the feeling of your brain being alive. It's forging new paths in the dense neural forest. In the previous part, we talked about providing fuel. In this part, we'll talk about driving that machine into uncharted territories. The greatest enemy of a sharp intellect is not age, it's repetition and routine. When your life becomes a constant loop, taking the same route to work, doing the same job, eating the same food, watching the same TV show, your brain switches to autopilot mode. It stops building new pathways, and the old, unused ones gradually fade. So how do we break that loop? The answer is beautiful. Live like a child with endless curiosity. Challenge your brain every day. Learn something new. It doesn't matter what it is. Learning a new language is one of the most comprehensive exercises for the brain, activating multiple regions at once. Learning to play a musical instrument like the piano or guitar improves fine motor coordination and listening skills. Even just learning to knit or garden creates new neural connections. I have a friend who at 45 decided to learn coding. He said the first few months were tough, but afterward he felt like his brain had been upgraded. He thought more logically and solved problems faster, both at work and in life. Hij dacht het nieuw, wat dacht moet ik dazang. Read a lot and read diversely. If you usually read novels, try a book on history or science. If you only read business books, pick up a collection of poetry. Each new genre opens up a new way of thinking. Don't just scroll through social media. Read long-form articles, in-depth analyses that demand concentration. Change your routine. Take a different route to work. Try brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Rearrange the furniture in your room. These small changes force your brain out of autopilot and make it pay attention, make it think. The stories of sharp elders always have one thing in common: they never stopped learning. They are lifelong students. They are not afraid of looking silly while trying something new. They find joy in the process of discovery itself. Here is an inspiring message for you. The day you stop learning is the day you start aging. The age on your ID card cannot define the youthfulness of your soul and intellect. Turn your life into an adventure of knowledge. Be curious, ask questions, explore. We've fueled our bodies and challenged our minds, but there's one final element, an invisible force that can either supercharge or completely drain all our energy. It's the thing that ties everything together. Imagine you have the world's most powerful supercomputer. You've given it the best power supply, installed the most challenging software. But what would happen if you never shut it down to reboot? What if it was constantly running dozens of stressful programs in the background? It would soon become slow-hot and full of errors. Our brain is the same. In this final part, we'll talk about the 3 silent but crucial pillars for maintaining a sharp mind. Sleep, stress management, and social connection. This is the operating system of the mind. First, let's talk about sleep, the brain's janitor. When you sleep, your brain doesn't just rest. It's doing a crucial job cleaning up. A system called the glymphatic system becomes highly active, like a night shift cleaning crew washing away toxins that have built up during the day, including beta amyloid, a protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. Not getting enough sleep is like letting trash pile up in your house day after day. It causes brain fog, difficulty concentrating, and in the long run, damages brain cells. Make sleep a non-negotiable priority. Create a quiet, cool, and dark sleeping environment. Stay away from phone and computer screens for at least an hour before bed. View sleep not as a waste of time, but as the smartest investment you can make in your brain health. Next, stress management. The silent enemy. Short-term stress can be useful, but chronic stress is like acid for the brain. When you are constantly worried, your body releases the hormone cortisol. Prolonged high levels of cortisol can shrink the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. Have you ever found yourself unable to remember anything when you're extremely stressed? That's the effect of cortisol. Find your own way to relieve stress. It could be meditation. Just 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference. It could be walking in nature, journaling, listening to music, or talking to a friend. Learning to calm the mind is just as important as learning to challenge it. Finally, and perhaps the most beautiful of all social connection, the ultimate brain exercise. Humans are social creatures. Meaningful relationships and deep conversations are a complex brain workout. They require listening, empathy, processing nonverbal cues, and memory. Loneliness, conversely, is a major risk factor for cognitive decline. Nurture your relationships. Call an old friend. Join a club or a class. Spend quality time with your family. Look each other in the eye when you talk. As we grow old, our sharpest, most precious memories will not be the facts we memorized, but the faces of those we loved. The laughter during family meals, the warmth of a hand in our own. And so we've completed our journey. From planting the first seeds to fueling the body, training the mind with new challenges, and finally nurturing its soul. This isn't a checklist of to-dos. This is an invitation to live a fuller, more conscious, and more connected life. Mental clarity isn't a destination you arrive at when you're 80. It's the way you walk your path every single day.